Welcome back, everybody. Kristen Finan, co-founder of Austin Travels Magazine, has just gotten back from hiking the Appalachian Trail, a huge accomplishment, and she's here with tips for anybody who also might be interested in braving the great outdoors. She's done a lot of it at this point. Kristen, good morning.
Good morning.
It's such a cool idea. It's honestly not something that had crossed my mind. Can you tell us about what inspired you to do this kind of hike?
Sure, absolutely. So the Appalachian Trail spans 2,000 miles from Georgia to Maine, and there are many different ways to hike it. You can do it, if you're able to take like a year off, you can go do the entire thing all at once, or you can do what's called section hiking it, where you go and do it in pieces over a certain amount of time. So for me, it's very personal. My dad had actually started hiking the Appalachian Trail, and he was doing the section hike way. So he would just get in his truck and go, and sometimes friends and family would go along with him, and he'd go do 50 miles, 100 miles, whatever he could fit into his schedule. And he made it halfway through the trail to Harper's Ferry, and then he passed away unexpectedly without getting to finish it. So as I was, grieving him and trying to think of a way to honor him, I thought, well, what if I pick up in Harper's Ferry and finish the rest of the trail? Because it was basically the halfway point. So I've got about 1,000 miles to get through and make it to Maine in the end.
Wow. Well, I mean, it means you're doing it with purpose, not just getting out there and enjoying yourself. Is there some reflection, too, on the connection between you and your dad while you're out there?
There definitely is. I mean, it's a gift I never would have had. I mean, especially being so busy here with my kids and all the things going on, I never would have thought to do it. And so now it is sort of this forced time in nature. Many times you don't have reception, so you could be out there all day and not even see another person. I've done some of the sections with my friend, and so that's been amazing, too, that kind of bonding time that we never get as girlfriends, just unadulterated. But it also has some excitement. I mean, on this past leg, I just got back from, I was by myself for part of the hikes, and I saw 2 rattlesnakes and a porcupine.
Okay, porcupine, cool. Rattlesnakes,
yes.
wow.
And it was literal, like I was in the zone, and I just took a step and heard a rattle, and I looked down, and I was like, thank God for this snake warning me, or maybe my dad intervened, I don't know, but I just was this close. And if I had stepped on it and was out of reception, it was a very scary thing. So it's also, you are mindful, but you also have to be very in touch with your surroundings and what's going on around you.
Sure, it's fun because it's like unplugging but replugging back into nature.
A whole
kind
different
of thing.
focus. Exactly.
Absolutely. Are there any other spots or things, activities along the trail that have happened so far that you're like, man, that's a must-see, just in case anybody else is interested in that?
Yes, and that's what's so fun, because you can kind of pick and choose. And I want to bring my kids along for part once they've
You're making them
adequately trained. I'm like, we're doing 15 miles today, so you better be ready. That's part of their summer project. But no, I mean, that's what's really fun is you can plan vacations around these sections. So I'm kind of doing 50 to 100 each time I go. So that's, 5 to 7 days. And while we're there, my friend and I actually have been staying in Airbnbs part of the time. If we don't want to camp, you can actually get an Airbnb, park a car at the beginning, park at the end, and hike car to car. It's a little cumbersome, but it's a really nice way to have like a shower and a bed at the end of the day.
I could see that.
But yeah, so I mean, as we've gone on these different pieces, I've done 4 legs now, and it's really fun to see what's in the area. So like in Harper's Ferry, that's on the Potomac River. So there's like the Harper's Ferry Adventure Center that has zip lining and river rafting and all of that good stuff. This latest leg was near Gettysburg, so got to see all the history. And also Gettysburg is just a super fun, quaint little town. And then of course there's like Hershey Park. So if you want the complete opposite of being on the trail, you go do roller coasters and eat chocolate on your day off, and that's really fun too.
I like that it's a good way to entice kids to come join you, but I agree with you that they got to be able to carry their own packs out there.
That's right. That's right. I'm not carrying it.
Well, and speaking of, can you talk to me about supplies for the trail? Once you said rattlesnake, I'm thinking steel-toed boots, girl.
Yeah, I mean, the shoes are a huge part, and I learned that the hard way this time because Pennsylvania is actually nicknamed Rocksylvania because it is so rocky and the elevation is significant. And I just showed up in running shoes. And I was like, this was I could barely walk. Like the first week after I got back, I had so many blisters. And so definitely, go to REI or go to one of the local stores, test things out, break them in, do your training in advance. I mean, actually Austin and Texas in general has a lot of great places to practice your hikes, a lot of amazing state and national parks. And so you really do, you want to practice with your pack on so you know what the weight is like, and just make sure that you're ready because you can get out there, and if you don't know what you're doing, it can get really dangerous.
Is there anything that you're like, hey, you might not have thought of this, but it's in my pack and I have found that it is a mandatory item?
I mean, I think just for me, having extra water and also making sure that you have a possibility if you need to treat your water, that's an option. So that if you get off trail, I mean, there's an app that's called Far Out, and that has been really amazing because it tells you like every mile down to the 10th of a mile, like what to expect.
Good.
And so it's like, there's water here, this is an outlook, this is a shelter, you could reload your supplies here. And so that's really, really helpful. And then you also definitely want to have a battery charger, because if you lose your charge, you won't have your app, and then you'll be a little bit stuck. But along the trail, there are these blazes. They're like white hash marks. And that's how you know that you're going the right way. So you just follow the white hash marks on different trees and rocks, and then you can always know that you're on the trail if you can see one of those.
Very cool. Last 10 seconds. I know you're writing about your travels, so people can plug in there. Tell me what's new for Austin Travels.
We have a new issue coming out next week, so we have all kinds of fall fun, if you can believe it. You know, if you're ready to think about it.
I can't wait. Let's bring fall in here.
Yes.
We appreciate your expertise this morning, Kristen. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, follow along with all things travel and plan your trip to Texas or beyond with AustinTravels.com.